Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Public Practice Accountants Club on Clubhouse, where public practitioner, thought leaders, industry specialists, and accountants just like you discuss hot topics in public practice and how they go about navigating the public practice landscape all around the world. So fundamentally, public practice has the same principles, dynamics, and challenges, no matter where we are in the world. We might have different tax seasons, busy periods, and legislation, but at the core, what we are is very much the same. So our room this morning is looking towards tomorrow, developing a business outlook. And I'll just double check. Kerry, can you just say hello to us this morning? No, I can't hear you. I just need to swap out some connections. Hold on 2 seconds. Oops. Oh, I'm so sorry, everybody. Technical dramas this morning. Kerry, do we have you there this morning? No. Still struggling with sound. All right. If everybody can hear me, though, we might have to run with that. Sorry, Kerry. Thank you for trying to help me today, but it looks like it's not going to play out very well. Unfortunately, we didn't quite have enough time to test. All right. That's quite okay. But you can hear me fine. Okay, that's good. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Hope everybody in the live world can hear us as well. So apologise for that. All right, let's get cracking. So I think just looking at everybody in the room, in the Clubhouse environment, I do know everyone this morning, but a quick introduction. I'm Lynda Steffens, accountant, author and introvert, and I've been hanging around public practice now for just on 30 years. And over that time, I've done a lot around public practice, but the last probably 5 to 7 years, I've been helping accountants and accounting teams with integrating advisory into their practices. Now, this morning, just as we're talking about looking towards tomorrow, developing a business outlook, just a reminder that as we kick off our conversation, that we can remember that our intention is always to be positive, supportive, and collaborative as we come together in the support of our amazing industry, no matter where we are in the world. Hold on 2 seconds. I've just seen something which we might be able to fix. Kerry, could I get a test to see if I can hear you now? No, that's very problematic. Oh dear. Not sure what's going on there, but anyway, we will keep ploughing ahead. Okay, so looking towards tomorrow, developing a business outlook. Are you so busy working in your business you forget to work on your business? That probably happens to all of us. Every day you use your considerable skills and time to help your clients succeed in their businesses, but how much time do you devote to your own? Today, we'll be discussing how to develop a business outlook and succeed as an accountant and as a business person. All right, so where do we kick this room off? So I think the first thing is talking all about working in your business and working on your business. And it's a bit more than just creating a budget or a turnover goal. There's a whole lot of different aspects to business. And so, we need to consider the whole range of them. And when I'm talking to accountants and to clients, we see a whole lot of these things play out in front of me. So often, I think as accountants, we can get very, very focused on working in our business. So doing the client work, making sure all that's happening, helping our teams and our staff members actually get the work done. Now, when it comes to a business, and I think this is something that we need to consider for ourselves, because it's one of the first things that we would be telling our clients when we're helping them, is really considering the organizational structure of your business and how all of the different aspects work together, and where your time should be spent as a business owner. So the difference between working in and working on. So let's just consider that around the organizational structure for a moment. So often when I go to talk to accountants, again, even if you do have an organizational chart, what will happen is that you've got pretty much the production or the technical area all mapped out and people in their places and a bit of a hierarchical setup. So we know that side of things. There may be a little bit of administration people that slot into the organizational chart, or some other helpers along the way, but generally we only ever see that technical production side of the organizational chart really filled out. So thinking about your own business in its true sense and what a business really entails. So it's starting right at the top, to my mind. If you've got a full idea of what a business is, it involves four major areas, to my mind. Right at the top, I think, sits a board, I suppose. Whether that's a board of one, a board of three, or, it does not matter. But it's understanding the different hats and the different roles that you need to play within your business. So right at the top, if you were drawing this very brief organizational structure, I would pop a square that says board. Now, the board deals with strategy, looking at moving the business forward, the future, all of those sorts of things. Very typical. If anyone has been on a board, you know what a board does. So basically develops strategy and then, helps to ensure that strategy is being carried out. Okay, underneath the board, I think we've got three working parts of a true business setup. And the first one is business administration and management. So over in business administration and management, if we're thinking of a typical business, clearly the financial aspects and knowing our numbers, all of that happens over in there. Particularly in accounting firms, you may have somebody called an office manager or a practice manager. This is the realm that they sit in, and very much, your business administration team sits there. So that's very different from your client administration team. So your business administration team, and then also to things like IT, HR, those types of things sit within business administration and management. So where we're going with this then is, if we move across to, I like to make this the middle square or the middle circle, into the technical production area of the business. Now, this is the one where as accountants, we generally have pretty formed, we understand what that is and what that looks like. So it then is all our production team. So getting the work done, from our partners through to our senior accountants, intermediates, and that whole hierarchical structure in there. There is also administration that sits in with there too. You will have anybody that's helping with client administration will be sitting within that technical production area of the organizational chart as well. And the third side, which we often forget as accountants, because of the nature of the majority of the work we do, and that being compliance, is the marketing and business development side of the business. So over there, not in all businesses will you have even a part-time or a full-time marketing person or business development assistant or somebody like that, but you may have an outside third party that might help you with that area of the business. And of course, always the business owner will be overseeing that side of things. So I think if you think of your business as having those 4 separate parts or those 4 separate roles, then it makes it very easy for us to see where perhaps we've got to spend some time. So just recapping on that, you've got the board at the top, or the strategy at the top. You have business administration and management, the technical production area, and then the marketing and business development area. So it's not all about just doing the work when it comes to running a business, because if we're thinking about looking towards tomorrow, we might want to grow our business. That might involve having more staff on board. And you'll notice too that in these rooms, Kylie and I talk a lot about communication. We talk a lot about setting up expectations, both for clients and for team members, and spending a lot of time doing that. So clearly then, as the business owner or the person that might be conducting some of that work, you cannot sit 100% in that technical production area. 100% of your time can't be there unless you're, and what we can often find is these extra bits that you need to do tend to get tagged on at the end of the day, or a last minute thought, or, oh yeah, I'll just get that done when I can. And that doesn't really bode super well for running your fully formed accounting business. So I think if you can draw that up for yourself, look at it on your notepad, and just think about your business a little bit differently and have a look at where you're spending your time. So being able to understand the difference between working in and working on. So again, I'll just make the point there around administration, and that sometimes I think we just tend to tack that on the side too, particularly with business administration. So the difference between client administration and general business administration, I think they are 2 very different roles again. And in accounting, we like to try and lump things together. We like to try and put a whole lot of things in one basket and then just say, somebody just go off and do that basket of things. And often these roles have different objectives and different outcomes. And so when we divide our business up into those strategic areas, it helps us see where people should sit, what roles they should be undertaking, and even helps us explain our expectations for that as well. Okay. All right. It's a little bit difficult because I don't know that I can hear any of you in Clubhouse this morning. So I'm afraid if you do have any questions for me this morning, or anything where you'd like to take this conversation, to please use the back channel if you can. That would be great. And to make sure that I can see those questions coming through. I will see them. It might just take me a little while to pick them up. So if you've got anything for me, please just type them into the little aeroplane signal there on the side, and I look forward to answering them for you or chatting about it. Okay, back to working on your business rather than working in. Okay, so sometimes when we're first delving into this concept of working on, a lot of accountants are saying, but Lynda, I don't have to. What do you mean? I don't have time. There's so much work to do. How are we supposed to get all of that done and work on my business? Well, I think if the whole topic of this conversation is looking towards tomorrow, and it does depend very much on what you want to accomplish with regard to your business. Now, if that is growing your business, if that is improving your profit margins, if that is a better work-life balance, a number of different things, then very much you have to start at the top and think about, what is that strategy? What am I trying to achieve? And having a look at where you are spending your time. So often when we then just do these extra bits of business tacked onto the side, we're not really setting ourselves up for success there. And this has a flow-on effect very much, which you may underestimate, in how we feel about how we can help clients. I think that's one of the big things. We are generally in accounting to help clients and to help them with their business journey, to partner with them. That's really why we do what we do. And so when we know that perhaps we're not working on our business as much as we should, then it can get a bit tricky for us to feel like we want to help clients. It can undermine our confidence a little bit. And that's a really important thing to consider. If all we're doing is work, and we're not concerned about our business, how can we then truly, honestly, authentically help our clients with their business? Now, that will play a part in how you think about how you're helping clients and the services that you want to undertake, and what you want to do with clients, how you want to work with them. So it makes a big difference. So the first thing I think with working on your business, and often I see this in accounting firms when I go and work with them, is to get your numbers right. So get your own chart of accounts set up so that we can measure turnover and income. That's normally the easy one, to be able to measure that fairly well. But get your cost of goods sold area set up correctly. Get your gross profit margin, really a true gross profit margin, in your chart of accounts, so that it's easy to see. We've got to make these numbers easy to see. We don't need more work. We've got plenty of work to do. So what we need to do is just make this easy. And I think as accountants, the first place to start is our numbers, right? So get your spend some time in your chart of accounts if you need to. Make sure you've got salaries and things in the right spots in your cost of goods sold. Automatically, when we set up our Xeros and our MyUbs or QuickBooks or whatever we're using for our accounting software, often those programs don't necessarily put salaries up there into cost of goods sold. So, salaries for us is clearly a cost of goods sold. Well, our production team salaries are. So let me qualify that. The production team salaries are. And then also, too, if you've got a director's wage or director's bonuses or, completely overhead administration staff, practice manager would fit into that. A receptionist would most likely fit into that as well. They should be down in the overheads part of your financials. So make your gross profit easy to see. Make your net profit easy to see as well in your management accounts. We can always do tax adjustments and things and what we need to do with regard to treating our income and how we want that to look in our final accounts. But from our management accounts perspective, we need to have these numbers easy to look at. Because if we don't know our numbers, then how can we help clients with their numbers? And I think that forms an integral part to how we see ourselves as accountants. So if looking towards tomorrow, taking a business approach is what you want to do, the first place to start is your own business and looking at what those KPIs are. People is another important aspect of working on your business as opposed to working in your business. Now, of course, we need people to help us with the work, but we need engaged people. We need trained and qualified people. We need happy team members, ideally. We need fulfilled team members. And often they just don't sprout up out of the ground because we give them all this work to do. So there's more that goes into the people management. And if you were listening before when I explained those 4 big aspects of what I think makes up a true business, the business administration and management box or area is certainly where the management of people fit. So HR, staffing type activities, chatting with staff. And you hear Kylie and myself chat about engaging with our team members, talking with them regularly, setting expectations, all of that. So people are super important to working on your business as well, and looking at the amount of time that you need to be spending there. I think as your business grows and as you involve more people in your business, more of your time comes away from the technical production side of things and goes into administration and management. And administration and management, like I said right at the start, is more than just doing a budget or setting some turnover goals. You know, that is very much around managing your people. So if we then move into, let's talk about business development and marketing. And I've just popped on my notes there that networking also falls into that category. So this is the fourth, I suppose, box when it comes to organizational structure in a very simplistic way for a business. So the board at the top, who handles strategy, business administration and management, production or technical, and then the business development and marketing. So predominantly for accounting, for the majority of the work we do, which is compliance, people and businesses, business owners need to do compliance. They have no choice in that if they want to keep all our regulatory authorities off their backs. So very, very important then that they undertake their compliance. So in saying that, they need us accountants. There's no real need to market ourselves. Now, marketing, I suppose, in a traditional sense, in an accounting environment, has predominantly been through referral basis. So you will hear a lot of accountants will tell me, well, you know, marketing's never worked for us because our referrals are our strongest marketing or business development when a client refers another client. And that is very much true from the aspect of doing compliance. But again, if we're looking towards tomorrow, developing a business approach, if you're particularly wanting to grow your business, perhaps you're wanting to talk about that you might have some special expertise in an industry or an area that you'd like to talk about. So becoming known for a particular niche, that may require some extra marketing or some business development. That you do things perhaps in a slightly different way to other accountants, and you're looking for new clients and you're wanting to grow, then you may consider some actual marketing activities or business development activities. And networking is a really good way to go about that. Just forming strong strategic relationships, letting people know who you are. Now, I am a big proponent of networking, but I'll put a caveat on that. Very structured networking is what I like to look for. Of course, I enjoy the odd networking event where we pop out to lunch and, you know, maybe chat with a couple of people, hear a good speaker. That's fabulous. I love those events, but I don't really consider them networking. I consider that's really just entertainment. And I appear to have lost a lot of power. So hopefully everything will come. Goodness gracious, technology is letting me down. Wait, we're back online. Maybe it's here on the Gold Coast this morning. We're experiencing a lot of heavy rain. So perhaps that's playing havoc with everything that's going on this morning. Gosh, I'm being challenged today. Okay. That's fine. Hopefully everyone can still hear me in Clubhouse. I'm not sure that I'm streaming this properly, but that doesn't matter. We'll have our chat this morning anyway. We may end up running this room again. Please give me feedback on this room if it was valuable to you, and let me know, because like I said, we certainly had some challenges this morning. All right. So what I was talking about was networking. All right. And I do know that if I could get Kerry to speak, which possibly you may be able to hear her in the Clubhouse room, but I can't, unfortunately. So it would be that I know that Kerry does networking and that she appreciates all those aspects of networking. And what it does help you do, I think, from that strategic level of looking towards tomorrow, is about what do you do? What do you do as an accountant? What do you really bring to your clients? What are the outcomes? It makes you consider what your message is. It makes you consider how to introduce yourself. It makes you consider how you're coming across to potential clients. There's a lot of things that you can learn from undertaking a networking experience. Okay, so if you're interested in doing more marketing for your business, perhaps, and this is something that, I talk to a lot of accountants around as well, is what marketing really is about is being able to differentiate yourself from every other accountant that's out there. And that can be pretty tricky in the market at the moment. Otherwise, you can find yourself spending a whole lot of your hard-earned money on marketing and it not really giving you a whole lot of benefit. And marketing in that sense can be about branding. It can be about making a name for yourself. It can also be about just helping clients, providing general information, being helpful. Is what a lot of people like to see with regard to marketing activities these days. Okay. And just speaking about, being able to differentiate yourself, I think that is something you do need to consider when you're building websites or you're doing social media or any of those sorts of things. Take a look at what others are doing. Take a look at other accounting websites. And, something that concerns me a little bit with marketing is the ability to be able to differentiate ourselves and to walk our talk. And that's what I was sort of saying at the beginning of the room, is that if we get our own business in order and we know our numbers and we're working on our business, then authentically through our marketing or through talking to prospective clients, through networking, we can show them that we are different to other accountants. So I think with all of looking towards tomorrow, it starts with us. And that's the importance of doing that. And I think for anybody, I did have Kerry lined up to speak to you this morning because I know she puts a lot of value on working on her business and getting help to work on her business. And it has delivered some great outcomes for her and moved her from, when she first started her business to where she is today, which is an entirely different business. And I am so sorry that I can't hear Kerry to deliver that wonderful information to you this morning. All right, but we'll keep motoring on. Okay, leadership and personal development. Let's chat about leadership and personal development. So when we're talking about developing your people and spending some time on working on your people and setting expectations, communicating with them, taking the time to do that. So you'll notice that when I'm talking about working on, I haven't delved into anything yet with regard to the technical production aspect of working on your accounting business. There are parts that fit in there, but for the most part, working on tends to be the other stuff, because we've got our technical production side mostly under control. But leadership and personal development, that is not just for your team. That, I think, as I said before, it just starts with you. I think that's for you. I think finding out a lot about business, about what makes successful businesses, reading, listening to podcasts, learning from others, looking at others' experience, and not looking at it from the aspect of, oh, well, I'm not doing that. Am I really failing, or am I not doing as well as I should be? But looking at it with a learning eye, looking at it, what can I learn from them? What can I take from them or take from that discussion and apply in perhaps just the smallest of ways in my business or in how I undertake leadership, or what that's about. So I think leadership, taking the time to develop ourselves as a leader, taking time to develop ourselves personally, our emotional intelligence and all of that plays very much into the leadership card when it comes to running businesses. And viewing, as I've said, if we're looking towards tomorrow, viewing our accounting practice not just as a factory for delivering client work, but a fully fledged formed business that has all of these working parts. All right. So leadership and personal development, I would highly recommend you do a lot for yourself. Make some time to do that. And I think, I've been talking about sounding like giving you a whole lot of extra work to do. And it's like, wait on, Lynda, I've got all of this client work that I need to do. So the place that you possibly need to start or have a really good hard look at is your technical production area. Is it running as efficiently as it should be? Is it producing the financial results that we want to see? And how might we improve that? And again, you will be able to learn from others through forums like this. Tuning into Kylie and myself, we talk about a lot of different things that you can do there to get the most out of your team, to get efficiency around your own leadership. What does that look like? So learning, getting some help from, there's a number of discussion groups around that talk about this. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I think that's something that we can be a bit funny about as accountants. It's like if we ask for help, it's admitting that we're not doing the best we can. And that plays into the mind of our perfectionism. It's like, well, hang on, I don't want to show myself up that I, maybe am not doing perhaps the best job. But it's really, we've got to switch that mindset, turn it around into what can I learn? And we love learning. It's one of our superpowers. So the love of learning will serve you very well if you can look at these things that way. So learning is super important. And if we go to some of the goal setting or think about what the board area of a business might do, our strategy, again, another major area I think generally overlooked in accounting. It might be looked at as a bit fluffy. It's a bit marketing. It's a bit, why do I need that? I've got all this work to do, and can be overlooked with regard to the importance of being able to set expectations, bringing a team together, just knowing where you're heading. So setting some goals, setting some strategy is super important when it comes to the growth of your business, if that's what you're looking for, or the improvement in profit margins or the improvement in financial aspects. And improvement in profit margins really just comes down to the efficiencies of how you're doing things. Now, there might be a bit of work to do in your systems and processes within the technical production area. But I would say for the most part that you've got them fairly well down pat. But maybe there's a little bit of work there to do, but maybe you've got to look at the capacity. You've got to look at your own capacity. What smart ways, and we talked just recently about delegating, the art of delegating. How can you smartly get some help to do some of these things that perhaps you don't need to be doing as the business owner, so that you can spend time in some really important aspects of perhaps growing your business or taking it into the future, which may be in that business development or marketing area. Might be doing some networking. It might be working on leadership and personal development, both with yourself and with the team, spending more time communicating with the team. And, for a lot of us, we are technicians at heart. That's what we love to do. We love to pump out some work. We do get, I suppose some productivity highs, let's call them. We do feel fulfilled by getting that done. But after a little while, that starts to play on us. And my technology has just gone again. Oh my goodness, I can't believe all of this is going on. Do you know what? With everything happening this morning and this whole discussion really completely going off track, we might call it quits, and we might run this same session again next week if you're interested, or we'll pop it in a couple of weeks' time. There's just been way too many challenges this morning, and the universe, I think, is telling me to call it quits. So look, thank you so much for joining me this morning in Clubhouse, but everything seems to be failing around me right now. So what we'll do is we'll tackle this subject again, because I had so much more to actually tell you, but it's all disappeared off my screen and my notes, and everything's everything is just playing against me today. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Kerry, if you're hanging around, what we might do is go into a private room and we'll check out the setup of things and see if we can't get that happening in preparation for another week. But thank you, everybody. I'll close this room right now, and I hope to see you next week. Actually, hang on. Let's have a look. Oh, it's just come back up. Here's next week's topic. So next week, oh my goodness, it's the 2nd of March already. 2nd of March at 7 a.m. We'll be talking about make work from home work for your business. So there's a lot of this going on at the moment. We've experienced it a lot over the last couple of years. But what does working from home, and how can we make that really work super well for our own businesses? So thank you, everybody. My apologies for having to cut the room short this morning, but we'll keep going on. I'll let you get on with your day. Thank you, everybody, and I hope to see you all next week.